Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another review of another Eddie Murphy film, and this time it is the classic Beverly Hills Cop. This is part of a pack that was sent to me quite a while ago. It is an overseas Blu-ray set that actually has all three films. Sadly, I think with this Blu-ray, only the first one has features. The second and third, they don't have features on this Blu-ray. There is on the DVDs if you get them, but not on the Blu-rays of this. And I think this pack is the only way you can get Beverly Hills Cop 2 on Blu-ray, which is bullshit. But yeah, Beverly Hills Cop, absolute classic. It's one of those things of what more can anyone say about a classic like this? It's still funny as hell. It still has Eddie Murphy at the top of his game. Has a great soundtrack with "The Heat Is On, The Heat Is On," Neutron Dance. You have a wonderful score by Harold Faltermeyer, including his classic Axel F theme. Eddie Murphy, like I said, does a wonderful job. You have Judge Reinhold, John Ashton, Ronny Cox. They do wonderful. You have Lisa Eilbacher, who I remember from Leviathan. She does a good job here. Bronson Pinchot has a small role. Stephen Berkoff, who's the villain. He would be the villain in Rambo for Split Part 2. He's the villain in this. Also, Jonathan Banks, who had a small bit in 48 Hours. He's in this film as one of our villains. And a cop from Detroit, his buddy gets murdered. He wants in on it. He's told to leave the fuck alone. But he goes to LA, clashes with the LA cops, just different backgrounds, different forms of life. And ultimately he forms a bond with Judge Reinhold and John Ashton. And the three of them go and kick the bad guy's ass. Anyone who knows about this film knows about the backstory, but I'll tell it anyway. Originally this was going to be a film with Mickey Rourke, but then things didn't work out, and so then Sylvester Stallone signed on. But he wanted to correct the screenplay, so he took a lot of the comedy out and he put a lot more action in, and instead of Axel Foley, he wanted to name the character Axel Cobretti, the Motor City Cobra. Jared Bruckheimer and Don Simpson, the producers of the film, said, there's going to be too much money. You tell Sly. No, you tell Sly. Apparently Sly, when he was told, he said, that's cool. He took some of his ideas, and it went on to make a favorite movie of mine, Cobra. Which, funny enough, does have a reference in Beverly Hills Cop 2, because Judge Reinhold's character has a poster of Cobra, as well as Rambo 2 in his room, in his home, I should say. But that's cool, because we got Beverly Hills Cop and we got Cobra, two films I absolutely love. And so they got Eddie Murphy. And it's interesting how a lot of the cast was in there when Stallone was going to be the lead. Thus why you have Stephen Berkoff as the villain, who would then be the villain in a Stallone film, Rambo 2, the year after, because Rambo 2 was 1985. And Lisa Eilbacher was supposed to be the love interest. So it was kind of interesting where, in this film, she's just the friend. Now, on the one hand, I don't know why she couldn't be a love interest. What, just because Eddie's character was black, so all of a sudden she can't be the love interest? So that's kind of weird. But on the flip side, I like the way it came about, because it's so typical that someone meets someone and ultimately they fall in love. And it's like, wait a minute, you just fell in love at meeting in 15 minutes? So it was refreshing to, oh, it's just a buddy, it's a friend, it's a childhood friend. And she makes fun of him and makes fun of his laugh and does his and then Eddie does his laugh. So it's funny how inadvertently it made the film a lot more fresh. You have Eddie in there instead of Stallone, and I love Stallone. I'm a big Stallone fan. I wear a fucking Rambo hat every fucking video. But Stallone wasn't the right fit for this film. Eddie was. And again, like the relationship he has with Judge Reinhold, John Ashton. If there was Stallone in that role, it would have been a very different and probably not as good of a relationship between his character and those two characters. And Eddie's just full on steam ahead. I mean, just so many funny moments. I mean, it starts out with a bang with him being undercover as a guy trying to sell cigarettes. Listen, I say it slow for you. I said need $5,000, all right? And then cops come. Oh, the truck, it's so weird, man. It just stopped. It just stopped. And you have a fun car chase at the beginning. I love the guy. I always forget his name. But the guy who plays his chief in Detroit. And I believe the guy was an actual cop. I always forget the guy's name, though. You know, where he's like, is that fucking Foley in there? You know, the chief just chewed my ass. You see I got nothing left? Listen, the chief didn't chew all your ass. There's still some left. Don't fuck with me, Axel. It's just, everything just worked. And Martin Brest, by this time, he had been fired from War Games with Matthew Broderick. And I think Martin Brest at first wasn't sure on doing the film. So he did like a coin toss. One side he would do the film, on the other side he didn't. It won, and it became Martin Brest's most popular film and most successful film. And he says he took that coin that made him do the film and he put it on his wall or something. But Martin Brest did a very capable job directing the flick. It moves very fast-paced film. And it's funny when the action's there. It works. It didn't need to be over the top. I think in Stallone's version of the film, it was going to be like Stallone in a Lamborghini or some type of car, playing chicken with like a train or something, and blow up half of Beverly Hills. Part of me would love to see that film, but I'm glad for the film we got. But it's just a lot of fun stuff, and it shows what type of character Axel Foley is. He's a guy who's going to get into places using his wit, using his mouth, using his wise-assness, using his brain, which is one of the many reasons why Beverly Hills Cop 3 fails, because Axel Foley, which is Axel Foley in name only in Part 3, that's why one of the reasons I hate the film, he doesn't use his wit. He doesn't use his style of talking into situations, talking himself out of situations. He doesn't use that. He's hot-headed. He's a shitty cop in Part 3. And he's not that funny because Eddie Murphy purposely didn't want Axel Foley to be that funny. Oh, he's grown up. He's not a wise ass. People can be wise asses when they're 80 years old. Look at grumpy old men and grumpier old men. Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon. It was just... Anyway, I'll get to that when I'm ranting on this piece of shit. But the first film, what he talks himself into getting in a room at Beverly Hills and about writing for Rolling Stones and doing a story on Michael Jackson. Eddie Murphy's face when he's told that the normal rate is $235 a night, and so Eddie's face like, okay. And then the next scene he's laughing at folks dressed up like Michael Jackson, like in his Thriller days. Dealing with Serge in the art gallery. What's a pertaining? I don't understand what you said. Pertaining, what's regarding? Oh, okay. How much does this sell? Blah, blah. Get the fuck out of here. No, I did not. I mean, I know I'm just repeating the lines, but they fucking still work to this day. Even as silly as putting a banana in the tailpipe. But it works. It works because of the characters, because of the writing, or I should say the ad-libbing. Like being thrown out a window and he gets charged. He gets arrested. Eddie Murphy's like, what the fuck did you charge for you push out of a car, huh? Jaywalking? And then even the cop car. This is the nicest cop car I've ever been in my life. It's nicer than my apartment. Or later on, hey, I've never been in a cell with a phone. Can I wait here? I just ordered pizza. Well, someone will eat it. I mean, Eddie Murphy does a much better job than I can with these lines of dialogue. But that's the thing. Anyone who's seen this video has seen the movie. Anyone watching this video has seen the movie, so I'm just telling you stuff you already know. And yeah, the plot is the backseat. It deals with bonded warehouses and drugs and coffee that hides the drugs, and Victor Maitland and his bad guys. But you're not going into this for the plot. It's fine that the story is second fiddle, because as long as you have the entertainment value, the characters, the dialogue, the fun situations our characters get into. But again, he gets bananas from Damon Wayans. Damon Wayans has a small part, just like Chris Rock has a small part in the second film. And he puts it in the tailpipe of the car, fucks up Judge Reinhold and John Ashton's vehicle. And Judge Reinhold and John Ashton, the two of them play off each other well. Almost like a mom and dad relationship. And Eddie Murphy's their kid. And Judge Reinhold's like the wife doting over John Ashton's character about how much red meat he's eating, and they have good chemistry with each other, and they're able to play off each other. They're like a married couple. And fun stuff like Eddie Murphy taking him to a titty bar. And now that I think about it, how many action films nowadays actually have tits? I know that's a weird question, but if you think about it, how many action movies nowadays actually have titties? And people go into strip clubs and strip bars and titties. I'm talking about action movies that go into theaters. Yeah, in VOD land, sure. But I'm talking about like movies that actually go into the theater. Nationwide, 2,000 screens. How many of them actually have titties? Not many. But in a fun film like this, they even have the titties out there. And it shows that Axel Foley is a competent cop. He notices something's on, and he tells John Ashton, he's like, no bullshit. And then he uses his wit to make the bad guy lose his guard, and then fuck up the bad guy. This, again, you see it in the first two films, but it's very much missing in part 3. Eddie Murphy's character doesn't do that in part 3. Which, again, is one of the various reasons why part 3 fucking sucked. Along with having shitty music and shitty villains and shitty jokes and shitty direction by John Landis. Again, I'll get to that. One of my favorite bits is when, after that scene, and you have the fun moment where he's trying to tell Ronny Cox, who's the chief in the LA office, that John Ashton and Judge Reinhold, they're super cops. Okay, the only thing missing them is tapes. And then John Ashton tells the truth, and Eddie Murphy's like, you fucked up a perfectly good lie, and I just don't get you guys. I love you guys, just I don't get you guys. But after that is you have the second team, and they come up, and one of them is a black guy who's a cop and talks to Eddie Murphy, we're not going to fall for a banana in the tailpipe. And Eddie Murphy mocks him. Oh, you're not going to fall for a banana in the tailpipe? You need to be more natural, man. You need to go, look, man, I ain't falling for no banana in my tailpipe. You've been hanging out with this dude too long. It's just funny shit. Even throwaway lines, like when he parks his car, he's like, can you put this in a good spot? All this shit happened when I was last year. And he's driving a piece of shit car. And again, shows his wit and his quick reflexes of his mouth. Like, talking himself into this party. Like, I want to talk to Victor Maitland. See, I get some herpes simplex 10. And I need to talk to the guy to make sure things are fine before things start falling off of the man. But you tell him that yourself. You know, I think it's best. One fuck up, it's a nitpick, but there's a point where in the party, and he talks to Victor Maitland, Stephen Berkoff's character, and he throws Jonathan Banks over a table. If you watch that scene, you see Eddie Murphy's character in the face is totally not Eddie Murphy. In fact, it looks more like Richard Pryor. Or I'm like, what's Richard Pryor doing in that scene? Or it's Richard Pryor's stunt double. Like literally, if you watch it, it does look very. It's not Eddie Murphy, and it's a really bad. Like, there's so many ways you could have done that quick bit with the camera angle to not even show the face. Or why couldn't Eddie himself? You tell me Eddie himself couldn't just do this and throw Jonathan Banks over the table? I never understood that. It's a very obvious goof when you see it on Blu-ray. But even when I saw on DVD, I noticed it, and I'm like, again, when you see the film again, when he's in that party and he throws Jonathan Banks over a table, watch Eddie's character. Like, that's not Eddie. And yeah, it looks like Richard Pryor. And one thing leads to another. The bad guys have Lisa Eilbacher. The three cops team up. They go in, take it by storm. Judge Reinhold helps Eddie Murphy out. He kills some bad guys. I kind of wish John Ashton had a little bit more to do in the third act. At least they made up for it in the second film, but he doesn't really do much when they get to the bad guy's place. He has a shotgun, but if you watch it, John Ashton doesn't really kill any bad guys. He doesn't really do anything. Again, I wish they would have given him a little bit more to do, or something to do. He's kind of just there to just be there. So, I didn't notice that until watching it. I'm like, wow, John Ashton doesn't really do anything at the end. At least have him a couple bad guys for him to shoot or something. But again, they do make up for that in the sequel. Because he's the one who takes out Brigitte Nielsen's character. And he's like, women. I love Beverly Hills Cop 2. I'll talk about that next. Very underrated sequel. Great. I mean, it made a lot of money, but, credits shit on it, which was bullshit of them to do. But I'll do more of that next time. But it was cool that even Ronny Cox got in on the action. Ronny Cox from Total Recall, RoboCop. He gets to shoot the bad guy along with Axel Foley. And he still has some fun lines when one guy asks, what's this man doing? Bleeding, sir. And another thing where it's against the norm. Like Lisa Eilbacher is not just a love interest. She's a friend. Against the norm. That was cool. Ronny Cox. He's actually playing a decent police boss. Because a lot of times the police boss are assholes or never listen to reason or completely an utter tool. There are quite a few times where Ronny Cox will sit down and listen to Axel Foley and be reasonable and give him a chance to explain. There's even a moment early on before this ending where it's like, just tell us what you do know. Let us in. What's going on? An actual decent police boss. And then even here, he lies for his men and for Foley. He lies to his boss. So, and even Eddie's like, you were lying your ass off. So yeah, Ronny Cox is a decent fucking police boss. It makes his character more likable. When you see enough action films like I do, it's always appreciative when they go against the grain in the right way. And they don't go the typical route you've seen 100 times. They do a little bit different here, a little bit different there. When you do enough of those things, it helps create a gem of a film, like the first Beverly Hills Cop. And again, the soundtrack is great, like The Heat is On, Neutron Dance, the score by Harold Faltermeyer fits it like a glove. The Axel F theme is a classic theme, which then they fuck up in the third film, because they don't hire Harold Faltermeyer back, they hire some other guy who fucked it up. It's competently directed. Like I said, it's a fast-paced film. It's still very fucking funny. There's a reason why most people call this the best Eddie Murphy film, or at least one of the best Eddie Murphy films. It's still a classic that holds up. Other than that one nitpick of, it's Richard Pryor throwing that guy over the table. I don't really have any problems with the film. I really don't. This is a film I can watch again right now and still enjoy it and still laugh and still have a good time. Beverly Hills Cop. Classic film. classic movie and became a huge hit when it came out. And after this, Eddie would take about 2 years until The Golden Child. And The Golden Child is my favorite Eddie Murphy film. But then when that came out, it was a box office disappointment because it didn't make as much money as Beverly Hills Cop. Which I don't know why. I don't know why people hate that film. I really don't. But I'm going to do the Beverly Hills Cop films first, and then I'll do The Golden Child. Maybe I'll do something special for that movie. We'll see. But either way, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you guys in the next video, which will be talking about the underrated sequel, Beverly Hills Cop 2. That's another thing. These discs are very lazy. Like, there's no artwork. Like, that's why I could barely tell the fucking difference. And so I'm showing like 3 and I'm trying to show 2. Like, why? I'll give more of that. Why isn't this on Blu-ray in the US? Fuck's sake. I think these are region-free because I have a region-free Blu-ray player, and usually I have to press a certain button if it's locked in order to change it, but I didn't have to do it when I put these in. Don't take my word for it. I'm sure there are many other reviewers that could give a more definitive answer, but my guess are these are region-free. Yeah. But again, don't quote me on that. But yeah, it does have the features from the first one, which is commentary by Martin Brest, The Phenomenon Begins. They talked a little bit with Eddie, which I wouldn't be surprised if it was like a somewhat older interview and then they just plugged it in there. But yeah, great flick. Thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.